All right, in contrast to the playlist about media inaccuracies, there is this playlist that's going to be about building a better world. And this will be the only introduction to this because I'm going to immediately highlight Elio Motors here. The key to building a better world is solve real problems. You want to be a billionaire? Solve real problems. Now, life coach isn't a real problem. Personal trainer isn't a real problem. Actually solve real problems. Water is probably the biggest example of a real problem. And so this playlist, I even have the question, how can we lower the cost of living while increasing the standard of living? The Federal Reserve would hate me for asking this question. But the bottom line is, how can you want to defeat poverty? Here's a way to defeat poverty. How can you turn $10,000 into a lot of money? How can you make $10,000 the new $100,000? So if you think that, let's say, $10,000 family is a poor family, okay, fine. Make $10,000 worth so much that a person can buy a home for $10,000. A person can buy the coolest car in the world for $5,000. I mean, you solve problems that way and you increase wealth, okay? And yes, the central banks would hate me because what I just described is actually deflationary. I would argue that deflation like that is very good because it makes everyone richer. So if you solve real problems, everybody gets richer, including yourself. So let's look at Elio Motors. 84 miles a gallon on the road, $6,800. Think about this as a commuter car. Now, I know some people will be like, well, but they haven't been released and they're having a hard time getting funding. Well, maybe my video will help get some funding. I would suggest that if you think it's a great deal, reserve your car for $100, right? Great commuter car. All right? So, yeah, let's crunch. Let's be boring and let's actually crunch some numbers, okay? And what's cool is they actually have a calculator right here. Okay, and keep in mind that the gas prices right now, I think, are about, where I live, they're about $1.80 a gallon. But in your area, they may be like $2 or $3. So let's suppose that we get, notice it says the average car in the U.S. gets 17 miles a gallon. Hey, but let's suppose we have a commuter car and we get 30 miles a gallon, right? So we get good miles a gallon, and we are commuters, so we drive 10,000 miles a year. That's usually pretty standard for commuters. And price per gallon in our town, well, I'm in Texas and it's $1.80. Okay, so we'll just look at $1.80. Whoops, $1.80. Okay, we'll look at it in a second. Hold on, let me stretch this out a little bit here. See how much money we save a year. So this is pretty standard. And remember, I'm talking about Elio Motors as a commuter car. Obviously, you're not going to take a vacation with it. I don't know, unless you're, a single person, you might actually think that would be good to take. And you could see I save $301 a year. Okay, now that's $1.80 a gallon, right? And most of us are like, yeah, but is it going to stay at $1.80? Probably not, right? Let's say we just go up to $2 a gallon. I was about to type in 200. That would definitely have an impact. And we say we save about $350. Now, it may not seem like, well, it's not that big of a deal, but when you, for instance, my cell phone plan cost $20 a month, which is $240. Basically, I just got a free cell phone plus some money, right? Let me think of another expense. This is the way that I think of it numerically. My internet cost, I think, about $30 a month, so that almost pays my full internet. So I'm basically like free internet, right? Now remember, that's if we have a 30 mile a gallon car. Let's suppose we have a 25 mile a gallon car. Ugh, $468, right? Let's go back up to $30, and let's suppose gas prices head up to $3 a gallon eventually. Like I think they will eventually be. I don't know how long it'll take. Suddenly we're saving $500 a year with this commuter car. What if gas prices do what they did to America? Of course, Americans won't actually usually buy cars like this until there's a crisis, and it's usually too late. But let's suppose they go back up to $4 a gallon. And as you can see, we are starting to head to the $700 territory. And remember, we're talking about a car that gets 30 miles a gallon. If we go back down to the 25 miles a gallon, look at that, $936.65. This would have been a wonderful car to have, especially when there was that $4 a gallon. So if the oil speculators, drive up the price of oil again, which we've already learned that what it really comes from is people that are betting on the price of oil going up by leveraging 20 to 1. Check this out. Right? We also should look at the impact of, again, there are people that tell me they drive about 15,000 miles a year, okay? And of course, obviously with $4 a gallon, but let's just look at $3 a gallon. I don't know if gas prices will go back up to $4 a gallon. I don't. They may. Well, I have a buddy of mine who thinks they're going to go to $5 a gallon before it's over with. It's true, oil is becoming a rare resource, and you can see. Well, the biggest thing about Elio is that it's $6,800. So my point here is that, I mean, I've never purchased a car that's over $10,000. All of the cars I bought are used. What's amazing to me is this is the price of a new car. And this is very affordable for a lot of people. This is a great way to start, especially if you're in your 20s and you're just starting out your career and obviously you're not married and you don't have kids. Hey, this is a great car, especially if you have a commute. I understand that a lot of people in their 20s have a commute. They don't have a lot of experience yet. So this is a great starting out car. This may not be the car that you always have, but it's a great starting out car. So, of course, what's funny is I was looking around to see if I could get some more details in some media. I thought it was funny. Sure enough, I stumbled across an article that just found all these things to complain about. Not the fact that there are groups of people that this will be solving the problem for. And so, yes, they are looking at getting a loan approved, and yes, they should be in production, I think, in 2016. But as oil prices start to rise again, not everybody can afford a Tesla, right? $60,000 is a pretty heavy price tag. Not everybody can afford these electric cars yet. And so this is a great car to start out, especially as you can see, you start saving $700 to $1,000 a year, maybe only just $400 a year, but that's more money in your pocket. And over the course of a decade, that more money in your pocket grows into more wealth. So this is an example of someone solving a real problem. A problem of gas prices are being too high. Here, let's put more money back in consumers' wallets. It's deflationary and it's good. It's lowering the cost of living while maintaining, in this case, the standard of living, so you can still drive and commute. But it is lowering the cost of living. This is increasing everyone's wealth.